The Treacherous Three destroyed their careers in the worst way possible. This wasn't just a band breaking up. This was three pioneers of hip hop tearing apart everything they built because of money problems, ego clashes, and one member making a choice that ended it all. Let me tell you how it happened. In 1985, the Treacherous Three fell apart during a recording session that should have been routine. Kool Moe Dee, the group's lyrical powerhouse, decided that Special K's verses weren't good enough. He cut them from the final track without asking anyone. That single decision ended one of hip hop's most important groups forever. But the real story goes way deeper than one bad studio day. The Treacherous Three weren't just any rap group. They were the ones who invented speed rapping. They were the first crew to truly master lyrical rap, focusing on complex rhyme patterns and lightning-fast delivery. When they dropped the new rap language in 1980, people had never heard anything like it. Future legends like Rakim and LL Cool J learned from watching them. They even mixed rock guitars into hip-hop before anyone else did it with their track Body Rock. These guys were global ambassadors too, performing in Brazil, Holland, Bermuda, and about 14 other countries when most rappers barely left their borough. Before you hit that subscribe button, let me know in the comments. Have you ever had a friendship or partnership destroyed by money issues? Drop your story below because what happened to the Treacherous Three might sound familiar. The group formed in Manhattan in 1978 with Kool Moe Dee, LA Sunshine, Special K, and DJ Easy Lee. They were childhood friends who met in elementary school and high school. Their chemistry was natural, their talent undeniable. After their debut on the B-side of Spoonie G's Love Rap, they signed with Enjoy Records and became one of the label's most productive acts, cranking out 5 singles. Then came the biggest mistake of their careers. In 1981, they moved to Sugar Hill Records. Sugar Hill Records, run by Sylvia Robinson, was famous for one thing besides hit records: not paying artists. Kool Moe Dee said it himself. He felt jerked by Enjoy Records, but Sugar Hill robbed him blind. He didn't see a dime, not one penny from all those records they sold. Imagine creating groundbreaking music, touring the world, influencing an entire generation, and getting $0 for your work. By 1985, LA Sunshine was done. He was frustrated with the money situation and sick of making records for a label that treated them like disposable tools. But here's where it gets complicated. Kool Moe Dee was still working for Sugar Hill, actually writing songs for the Sugar Hill Gang. So while his bandmates were starving and angry, Kool Moe Dee was getting paid by the same people exploiting them. You can see the problem, right? His partner saw him as someone working for the enemy. He was drawing a paycheck from Sylvia Robinson while they got nothing. That created tension no friendship could survive. Every time Kool Moe Dee cashed a check from Sugar Hill, it felt like a betrayal to LA Sunshine and Special K. They were out there struggling, trying to figure out how to pay bills, while their supposed brother was collaborating with the same woman who stole their money. The resentment built up day after day until it became impossible to ignore. The music business was changing too. By the mid-1980s, groups like Run DMC were taking over with better production and aggressive marketing. The Treacherous Three were pioneers, but pioneers don't always get to enjoy what they built. Newer acts were overshadowing them, and they needed a hit to stay relevant. But how could they focus on making great music when they weren't being paid? The pressure was massive. They had to compete with younger, hungrier artists who had better deals and bigger budgets. Meanwhile, the Treacherous Three were stuck in contracts that squeezed every dollar out of them while giving nothing back. It's hard to be creative when you're worried about rent. It's hard to write your best verses when you feel disrespected and used. In 1985, Kool Moe Dee convinced everyone to go back to the studio one more time to record Gotta Rock. Getting them to agree took serious persuasion. Nobody wanted to work for Sugar Hill anymore. The A-side went okay, but then came the B-side, Turn It Up. LA Sunshine didn't even show up. He completely boycotted the session. His absence was a protest, a statement that he was done giving free labor to a corrupt system. Special K showed up but left early. He couldn't stomach finishing the track either. Kool Moe Dee stayed and reviewed what they had. As the group's lyrical leader, as the guy who set the standard for speed rapping, he listened to Special K's verses and made a judgment call. He decided they weren't up to par, they weren't good enough, so he cut them from the final track entirely. Think about what that meant. The Treacherous Three built their reputation on technical excellence and lyrical innovation. By saying Special K's rhymes didn't measure up, Kool Moe Dee was essentially saying Special K had failed the group's core mission. It wasn't just criticism, it was rejection. It was one friend telling another that after all these years, he wasn't good enough anymore. LA Sunshine became Kool Moe Dee's choreographer. He handled all the videos and stage shows, doing the same job he'd done for the Treacherous Three's live performances. This tells you something important. LA Sunshine wasn't mad at Kool Moe Dee personally. He was mad at Sugar Hill Records. Once they escaped that toxic environment, he was happy to work with his old friend again. Special K tried going solo. He released a single called Special K is Good in 1987, and people said it sounded like his brother Tila Rock's music, but his solo career never really took off for him. DJ Easy Lee made the smartest move of all. He became an executive, taking a job as National Director of Promotions at Ichiban Records. He learned the business side, gained connections, and positioned himself to help the group later. Because here's the thing, they did get back together. In the early 1990s, nearly a decade after that horrible final session, the Treacherous Three reunited and released Old School Flavor in 1994. All three MCs came back. The album proved they could still work together and make good music. But notice when and how this happened. It was outside Sugar Hill Records. DJ Easy Lee facilitated the reunion through his executive connections, and they released it on a different label. Without the financial exploitation, without Sylvia Robinson stealing their money, they could collaborate again. The reunion wasn't just about nostalgia. It was proof that their breakup was never really about talent or friendship. It was about a corrupt system that poisoned everything it touched. The Treacherous Three's legacy remains solid. They're celebrated as the originators of speed rapping and lyrical hip-hop. Artists still study their technique. Their influence on Rakim, LL Cool J, and countless others is undeniable. But their story is also a warning about what happens when creative people get exploited. Think about it. A group this talented, this innovative, this important should have thrived. They should have made fortunes. Instead, they got nothing and tore themselves apart fighting over scraps. Kool Moe Dee had to cut his friend's verses and destroy his group just to save his own career. That's not how it should work. The saddest part is how avoidable it all was. If Sugar Hill Records had just paid them fairly, none of this would have happened. They could have stayed together, evolved their sound, and dominated the golden era as a unit instead of scattering to the winds. But greed destroyed that possibility. One label's refusal to do right by its artists created a domino effect that ended one of hip-hop's most important groups. So here's what you need to remember. The Treacherous Three destroyed their careers because the music industry destroyed them first. Sugar Hill Records robbed them blind, created impossible working conditions, and turned friends against each other. Kool Moe Dee's decision to leave Special K off that track was brutal, but it was also survival. He saw the group was finished and made the hard choice to move forward alone. Were they wrong to break up? Maybe not. Kool Moe Dee became a legend. LA Sunshine found success in choreography. DJ Easy Lee mastered the business side. Special K had his moment, and eventually they all came back together when the circumstances were right. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. What do you think was the biggest mistake here? Was it signing with Sugar Hill Records? Was Kool Moe Dee wrong to cut Special K's verses? Or was the whole thing inevitable once the money dried up? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.